Alright, let's be real. You started Albion Online, you've maybe poked around Caerleon, seen the red zones flash, probably lost your first couple of gear sets in some deeply unfair situation. And now you're thinking, how on earth do people make silver? How do I even get started without just constantly losing stuff? Well, toss out the guides that tell you to immediately go deep diving into black zones, static dungeons, or ganking rich players. While that can make silver, it's absolutely not how you get your first million safely. No, earning that first significant chunk of change, enough to maybe afford premium for a month, get yourself some decent gear without sweating losing it, or just feel secure, requires a different approach. An approach focused on low-risk, consistent income. The kind of methods that let you build wealth without relying on lucky drops or successful PvP engagements. Here's the brutal truth about Albion. If you engage in full loot PvP content, you will lose gear. It's part of the game loop. That's fine once you have a safety net, but when your entire bank account is maybe 50k silver and losing a T4 set means going back to scratch, high risk is just, well, high risk. These low-risk methods are your foundation. They are your guaranteed income streams. Are they exciting 100% of the time? Honestly, no. Some of them are a bit of a grind, but they work. They reliably put silver in your pocket so you can afford the gear to eventually do those higher risk, potentially more exciting things without risking absolute destitution. This guide is for getting that first million safely, not getting rich quick and then losing it all. Hey, real quick, if you find this guide helpful and you're looking for more practical Albion Online tips without the usual hype, consider hitting that subscribe button. It seriously helps the channel out and ensures you don't miss future guides that might save you a few headaches and silver. Alright, back to the money making. Method number 1, the absolute cornerstone for many beginners, gathering. Now, forget the scary red or black zones for a moment. Your first million is sitting out there in the blue zones and especially the yellow zones. These zones are your friends because remember, if you get killed by another player in a yellow zone, you're only knocked down. You only lose some durability on your gear. You do not lose your equipment. It's nearly zero risk to your progression. Start with T3 resources in blue zones, then quickly move to T4 and T5 in yellow zones. T4 resources are abundant and a huge part of the economy. You just need the corresponding tier gathering tool, T3 tool for T3 resources, T4 for T4, and so on. T3 and T4 tools are dirt cheap. T5 is very affordable. You can either sell the raw resources on the market immediately, which is simple, or you can refine them at a city's crafting stations using refining focus for extra profit, or just standard refining without focus for a base profit. Probably not though, usually selling raw makes sense. Refining requires corresponding resources and often grants crafting fame too. Experiment with what sells best, raw or refined. Honestly, just sticking to gathering T4, T5 raw resources in a yellow zone you like is a perfectly valid and safe path to steady income. Pick 1 or 2 resource types you enjoy gathering. Just watch out for mobs near nodes. They are easy to kill. Literally just need your basic weapon attacks and maybe 1 or 2 simple abilities to handle them easily. I have a great battle axe guide for PvE content on the channel, check it out. Next up, incredibly low effort, very safe, faction transport missions. Head to your city's faction leader, check the map for their location. Join a faction, it's free. Then look for the transport missions, the ones that have a little package icon. They'll ask you to carry a package from your current city to another royal city within the safe royal continent. You literally pick up the package, ride your mount through yellow and sometimes blue zones to the destination, shady NPCs receive the payload, and then return to the faction leader with the payload to complete the contract. You get the payload points along with the faction points payload, which you can then exchange for various faction-locked items like crests or hearts, which sell instantly on the market. It's simple riding, pays decently for the time investment, and is almost entirely safe. A related method, staying city-bound, basic flipping or crafting in the city only. Look for cheap resources, craft something simple that sells well, sell it, or just observe the market. Are T4 soldier boots slightly cheaper than average right now? Buy them and hold them for a day. It's tiny margins but incredibly low risk, only tying up a bit of capital temporarily. But start with the faction transport, it's guaranteed pay. Alright, method number 3. This is perhaps the most peaceful on the list, and it requires next to no upfront cost. We're talking about fishing. All you need is a fishing pole. You can buy a T2 or T3 fishing pole from the market for literal pocket change, like maybe a few thousand silver tops. Equip it in your main hand. No armor set required, just whatever cheap travel gear you want. Find a body of water in a blue or yellow zone. City harbors, lakes, rivers out in the zone, all are good. Equip the pole, cast your line with W, wait for the bobber to get a pull, it'll splash violently. Hit W again to reel it in, playing the little mini-game of keeping the fish icon within the green bar. You'll catch raw fish of various types and tiers depending on where you are. You might also get seaweed or even rare treasure chests you can open for extra loot. All of this, the raw fish, the seaweed, the treasure chest contents, it all sells on the market. The raw fish always sells. Fishing is fantastic because it's low interaction, meaning you can listen to podcasts, chat with friends, or just relax. It requires no combat skill whatsoever, other than maybe clearing a rare nearby hostile critter before you start fishing. And crucially, like gathering, you can do this safely in yellow or blue zones without fear of losing your pole or your valuable catches. If you're unlucky enough to get down by another player, your items are all safe. It's a simple, reliable stream of passive silver. Finally, let's talk safe PvE. Blue and green dungeons in blue or yellow zones. These are the instance dungeons you see randomly appear as blue or green portals on the map. Equip a simple, affordable tier 4 or 4.1 gear set. Think something costing under 50k, 100k silver total. Any combat weapon you enjoy works. Just understand its basic attack rotation and perhaps a key simple damage ability or defensive cooldown. You absolutely do not need complex builds for these. Dive solo or with a friend. Clear the mobs. The trash mobs themselves drop silver. The chests scattered throughout and the final boss chest drop items, mainly generic gear, but occasionally crafting materials, potions, or even rarish artifacts that sell for more on the market. In yellow zones, the risk is zero other than dungeon divers attempting to clear your dungeon entrance from the outside, rare for low-tier greens, but you're inside safely. In blue zones, if another player gets into your dungeon, also rare but possible, and kills you, you're only knocked down and lose minimal gear durability, not the set. Again, guaranteed small income from trash mobs, plus bonus chance from chests with almost no risk of setback. Okay, so how do you get that first million? By consistently doing one or a mix of these things. Spend an hour gathering T4 fiber, bring it back, sell it raw. Then run a couple of faction transport missions. Log off for the day. The next day, maybe do a few safe zone green dungeons with a buddy. None of these methods in isolation will make you 1,000,000 silver in an hour or maybe even a day if you're starting from zero. But doing them reliably, ticking them off, an hour or two a day of dedicated low-risk activity from this list will steadily build your silver total. That T4 stone sells, those faction crests sell, that generic loot from the dungeon mobs sells to the market. It's not glamorous, but it is your most reliable path to having enough silver to stop stressing about losing gear and start using your gear to explore more of Albion. 1,000,000 silver in Albion isn't that much in the grand scheme, but it's a critical threshold. It's freedom silver, and these are the absolute safest, easiest ways to get it. So there you have it. Forget the red zone drama or chasing down newbies for pocket change. Focus on the yellow and blue zones, leverage gathering, faction transport, fishing, and safe zone dungeons. Stay consistent. That first million will come. Once you have that buffer, then you can start experimenting with slightly riskier, higher reward activities, knowing you can always fall back on these methods to rebuild. What was the first safe method that made you decent silver in Albion? Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe out there, at least until you choose not to be.